deep sense of pride for America after the September 11th attack. His wife was in New York during this time. It was her first visit to New York. He is one of the only houses that proudly flies the American flag. The title of his speech, as I said before, is Proud to be an American. Let's welcome Joe.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and especially fellow Americans. When someone says America, what comes to your mind? What's the first thing you think of? A lot of people think about land of liberty, shining city on the hill, greatest experiment in human history, defenders of freedom. But then there's a flip side to that. Some people refer to America as arrogant, terrorists, torturers, greedy, tyrants. One of the most extreme examples So as we can see, there is a big contrast in how people view America. There's a trend going towards us in viewing America this way. But a lot of times it's because people misunderstand America. People misunderstand the greatness of America. They misunderstand how we got to this point, what it took to forge this great nation of ours. America is an exceptional country. We have the greatest economy, we're the most generous country, and we also have the most powerful military. What makes America different? We all look like everybody else. We're all human. America's only been around, it's only 235 years young. But we have surpassed other countries that have been around for thousands of years, date back to ancient civilization. What makes us different? This is where it all started, and this is our history right here, our founding fathers. These men had the courage to stand up to British rule. They believed in keeping power within the people, not having a big government. Letting people pursue life, liberty, and happiness, and letting the people decide. When these men sat down and formed the Declaration of Independence, they essentially put together the death warrant. If this didn't work out with America, the British were going to get them. But these guys decided they were going to take the risk for our country. Anyone ever heard of the American dream? America is about the only country that you'll see before the word dream. There's no such thing as the French dream, the Russian dream, the Libyan dream, the Chinese dream. It's the American dream. Everyone comes here for a great opportunity. There's no other country you can come with nothing. You've heard so many rags to riches stories. You can come to this country, and with some hard work, ingenuity, they can build a great opportunity here for themselves and their families. America, the economic powerhouse. We represent 4% of the world's population, yet we represent 25% of the world's economy. Why is that? American ingenuity. I'm sure a lot of us have had one of these. Entrepreneurism is at the root of America. And there are many examples of people who have been successful here in America. Henry Ford, a horseless carriage. The assembly line, His goal was to make a vehicle that every American could afford. Everyone knows the Arnold. Came to America from Austria, couldn't even speak the language. He was a bodybuilder, he won multiple bodybuilding competitions. Then he wanted to get into acting. But you know what they told me? They said, you can't do it. You have to use an accent. But Arnold persevered. He became one of the greatest actors and now the governor. Or previous governor. But, like they say, only in America. This guy here started tinkering around with the internet in his dorm room, created Facebook. Some of the Egyptians actually have named their kids Facebook after the revolution. America. And these are, what did he create? He won $13.5 million and created an idea, but that idea is what it makes America great, is freedom to come up with these ideas. America the generous, we're the most generous nation. We give about $29 billion in foreign aid to other countries. I mean, we surpass so many other countries in that regard. We also have private donations. Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is a great example. $3 billion again to eradicate polio and infectious diseases throughout the world. And this is just one of many. We give so much to help out other people in other countries. Everyone ever heard of the story, Baby Joseph's story? The little boy, baby in Canada, they were going to remove his breathing tube because he couldn't breathe on his own. The family went to the Canadian government and they tried to protest, and they were going to remove his breathing tube and he wasn't going to be able to live anymore. A group of Americans called the Priest for Life brought him into St. Louis and paid for baby Joseph to have the procedure done so he could be brought home and live at home with his family. Here's a quote from one of 7 Iraqis. These guys were merchants in Iraq, and they were caught by the Saddam Hussein regime spending American dollars, trading in American dollars. Saddam Hussein sent them to Abu Ghraib, and their hands were surgically amputated. When the Americans found out about this, we brought him back here to Houston. We gave them prosthetic hands. This is just a showing of our goodwill. But that's a quote that we have freedom in Iraq. America the powerful. We have the greatest, most strongest military. Freedom has to be defended at all costs. And we have done that throughout our history. D-Day, France, turned the tide of the war when the Nazis took over Europe. A lot of Americans lost their lives on that day over that war, but we were able to root out the Nazis. The first Gulf War, this is one of the biggest military reversals of all time. Number 1 Army versus number 4 Army. When Iraq invaded Kuwait. Taliban in Afghanistan is another example. Within 1 month, using our technologically advanced weapon, we were able to destroy the Taliban. And this guy here, he met American might. American military is very lethal and powerful, but they can be very compassionate, giving candy out to kids in the streets, winning hearts and minds. A lot of American troops have gone and performed medical procedures on tribal leaders to win hearts and minds of these people. I like this quote because it sums up our military. After September 11th, probably all remember that. I remember going down to Daly Plaza, downtown. Everyone was holding hands, and listening to this song by Ray Charles, America the Beautiful. Everyone was just, had so much pride for America at that time. And I feel like it's going away. We need to bring that back. We got to remember that as the world changes, so does America. But what's not going to change are our values, our principles, and our strong culture that took us to where we are right now. Don't let other people destroy America. Embrace it, cherish it, be proud of it. It's our responsibility to pass the torch of liberty to future generations, to our children. Be proud to be an American. Mr. Toastmaster.
Everybody go ahead and write a love note for Joe Fisher. Was he within time?
Just weekend at 10:27.
You're about 30 more seconds for that love note. Talking about the heat and how hot it is in Houston, I don't think it would be as bad if you haven't had any rain. If we haven't had no rain, and when we have all this heat and all this hotness without any rain, it just makes it almost unbearable. I'm almost afraid to open up my water bill. And I know in the Woodlands they're starting to do voluntary water rationing. And then it's going to be mandatory. And the minute it becomes mandatory, then I know all my grass is going to turn brown and die. I'm just waiting. So we do need some rain, and I'm looking forward to it. With that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our table topics. Master, the distinguished Alan.
All right, table topics. Well, as I was driving over here, I was like, well, what can I do for table topics? I had no idea. First, I was like, well, we can start off with the summer theme, our favorite vacation, or so forth. Then I started thinking, why? Summertime, it's the peak for everything. It costs so much more for that hotel you're in, or that condo you're in, the airfare tickets that you purchase. So, like, and part of that is all the kids get out at the same time. Summertime, all the students from high school, college, elementary, everyone gets out at the same time. So it's this big wham of everyone ready to take vacations. And I was like, why don't we have a system where all the schools kind of staggered throughout the year? So now everyone's getting off the same week on spring break and fighting to get that hotel room. Staggered to where you got a month and a half of schools across the nation all getting out at different times to level out the cost on hospitality industry. And so my first table topic is you're going to be a lobbyist. In the audience, we're the congressmen. You got a lobby to try to convince us that we need to have some kind of trimester system for our school system. Got a volunteer already.
We got to vote on the best speaker. That was an oversight on me, so let's go ahead and vote on that. And to be honest with you, I am a lobby, but I'm a trader. And the reason why I'm a trader is because I'm also an educator, and I realize that we need to have 3 months for summer. And they've paid me off, so I'm going to go to the other side, and I'm just going to ruin it all. So we are not going to have this trimester business, because kids need to have fun during the summer. The other thing is, what people don't realize is whenever they have to do construction on buildings and on schools, they need to have them where they're inaccessible for 2 to 3 months. Many times we find that the years going longer and longer and longer, so that they don't have time to renovate many of these older buildings. The other thing is, many of you know in the legislature in Texas that they've cut a significant amount of money out of the budget. They've cut a significant number of teachers, and in addition to that, they've also granted the state or many of the school districts where they can furlough, and which to me I don't understand this, give the teachers 6 unpaid days. Not shorten the school year by 6 days, basically don't pay them for 6 days of the school year. And what I would recommend is that we actually do not allow school during June, July, and August, so that these teachers who just lost 6 days of pay can get a summer job so that they can make enough money to get by.
Then we first jumped there. All right, so one of you lucky individuals is the congressman has to come up and agree or disagree with our lobbyist. Have any takers?
I'm an old debater, so I'll take the other side. I don't think these teachers work hard enough as it is. I mean, they expect full stipend. They get every holiday, 3 and 4 day weekends, and now they want extra vacations. So they get a summer job and take them away from the kids who really need summer jobs. And who wants to see Joe Cusack as a lifeguard? Seriously, our educational system and the way it was set up with the schedule was designed for an agrarian society. Obviously, we are not an agrarian society anymore. I think that it's ridiculous to think that we're going to send kids off and have them leaving home before it's light in the morning so that they can show up and sleep through the first 2 hours of school so they can get out in the afternoon and they have 2 or 3 months off straight away so that they forget half of the stuff that they learned there. So I think that we need to really rethink how a information-age society can better train our leaders of the future. We're filming the whole thing too.